just wanted to shed light on this Cam Newton topic, talk about it for a little bit, just to get some perspectives. But yeah, I don't think what he said was bad. I think if anything, what it is that people can't accept what is coming from a man sometimes, so it makes it difficult to take it seriously. For example, how can a man tell a woman how she should be and what she should do? You know, that type of approach. Not that I see an issue with it, but that's how society views it, because they feel as though men shouldn't be able to speak on those things. All right, so tying it back to that, I think that what he said is not wrong. I think what he said is very valid. It seems like a lot of times women would much rather be bad bitches than to actually be women. And what he's saying is a simple understanding, you know? How can you focus on being a woman when you're so worried about being a bad bitch? You're so worried about trying to fit into the status quo of how black women should be, but then you're forgetting the most important part, and that's your nurturing aspect. By being a woman, you know, you have that ability to nurture. By being a bad bitch, you may not care about it so much because it's less irrelevant to you. You know what I mean? It's less relevant to you. You see that as it's not that important, or it's a minuscule thing, but in reality, that's your identity. Just like a man, his identity should be to provide for his family, but a lot of men don't really take that, you know, ability on. So to me, it kind of goes hand in hand, because it shows you sometimes we get caught up in the whole dynamic of, oh, well, I'm gonna live my life and do what I want to do later on, and then eventually when I'm, you know, old and gray, then that's when I want to come to terms with things and have a better perspective. But life doesn't always work that way. We can't always wait till we're older to do what we need to do to get things right. You know, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people think that, you know, and I don't think that that's the best way to go about it, but it's just how things are nowadays. You know, look at what happened with 24-year-old Dwayne Haskins. He just recently died, like, on Saturday. Imagine if he wasn't married, you know? Imagine if he wasn't thinking about value and thinking about what mattered as far as legacy. It's unfortunate, but hey, he put himself in a position where his wife can now reap the benefits of his short-lived career. I mean, it's little things like that. Why, you know, I speak on the fact that marriage matters more, because it's like we get caught up. And because we get caught up, we ignore the signs, we ignore all the red flags and all the precautionary tales that we have, because we don't want to be able to accept the fact that, you know what, maybe we have to think twice about what we're doing. Maybe we have to be limited in terms of our understanding, because if you don't get it any other way, how are you going to have success based on that? You know, and it just speaks to the whole nature of the beast when it comes to the bad bitch versus the woman mentality. I completely understood it. I mean, what more is it to it? It's just a matter of, we gotta, you know, exceed proper precaution, be vigilant in our mindset, and be able to hold ourselves accountable in such a way that doesn't create destruction. I feel like a lot of us don't want that. And as he was saying, you know, again, it just speaks to the whole nature of where we are as a society. So here's my little quick tip, or quick advice on the Cam Newton saga. I know people are going to hate on it, and it's going to get a lot of backlash, but some things just need to be said. So there you have it. Thank you.
So I'm not one of these dudes that be like, bro, I'm gutter, I'm this, I'm that. Man, I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. Mm-hmm. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Mm-hmm. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of women, now the kickback of that is be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet for the man and handle his business. You know, that's what they say. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be submissive to a man and handle his business. Mm-hmm. That's what they're gonna say. So what is your?
But it's ways to do it. And I'm not just about to sit up there and beat up my queens.
No, I ain't saying like that. Yeah.
But I'm also gonna also tell the men to start being men, bro.
Absolutely.
That sucker shit should not be rewarded.
And what sucker shit? So
You know, when a person carries himself social media wise, and it's a fraud in real life.
okay.
You know, it's more to every person that got money, every person who's rich isn't a real one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that gets kind of misconstrued in this society now because a lot of people have money, but they're not genuine people, you know.
Right.
And I pride myself, everybody who knows me knows, like, bro, Cam's a solid dude. He keeps his circle extremely small. I'm not afraid to be by
All right, I'm back. I had to take Amadis to daycare. So, like I was saying, basically, it's just one of those things that I think is really interesting. Like, a lot of what Cam Newton said is going to get overlooked and is going to create backlash. But a part that stood out to me from that interview was when Cam Newton was saying, like, women don't allow men to lead. And the interviewer was saying, well, women are going to feel like if a man's not leading, if a man is not doing what he's supposed to, how can he lead? I thought that was interesting, too, because so much of what's happening in society is a matter of chaos, dysfunction. You know, for example, you have men trying to do what they should do for their families, but then you have women interfering with it. You know, a lot of women are not comfortable with allowing a man to do what he's supposed to because of what they've seen in their lives, like growing up as a child or just going through different experiences, men not doing what they're supposed to. This is why I say, as men, you have to have discipline. In some cases, I do understand where women are coming from because as a man, how are you expected to lead when you don't have anything to show for you leading? You know, for example, you want to be a good father to your children, but are you taking care of your children? Are you doing what you need to do for your children? Like, how does that show that you can lead when you're put in a position to do so and you can't do it? So in a sense, I do understand that, but I think that is interesting because there are some men out there that do what they're supposed to do, but they're still not able to gain that respect. This is why I also preach that compatibility matters, because if you're with someone that doesn't understand your vision, understand your purpose, how do you expect that to work? You're always going to be coming at it from a deficit because you're fighting to do more to gain respect, do more to gain value where it doesn't need to be. I mean, it sucks, but that's how life works. You know, we have to be matched and paired with people that understand our value. And as Cam was saying, you know, sometimes women don't know how to cook or whatever the case is. I mean, but maybe sometimes you have to take that understanding on that that's the woman that you chose. So as it relates to what he said, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Like, that's why I decided to do the video, because as I think about it, I'm like, whoa, hold up. I know that he's going to get backlash. I know that people are going to see it as, well, he's being misogynistic. He's speaking on hatred for women. But no, it's not hatred. I mean, if anything, it's more so giving a perspective that oftentimes gets overlooked. You know, we don't look at the modern woman or the traditional woman as much as we should because we feel like all women are the same in some cases. It's now that Kevin Samuels and other people are coming out with the content that give us, you know, examples that we should follow. But before then, nobody knew the difference of that. I mean, yeah, you may have grown up in a traditional household, as many of us did, but still, I mean, we're going with what's in front of us. So with what's in front of us, it's not always going to be able to play out the way that it is. So I think that that's an amazing conversation. And that's, again, why I decided to record this video, because I wanted to hear some takes. I wanted to hear what people had to say, because as it related to what Cam said, I don't have an issue with it. I really think that we have to pay attention to what's happening in front of us, because as I was saying earlier, so much of what's going on is that people want to be able to live their lives and then make mistakes and then correct it later. You may not always have that chance. To me, it's better to at least live your life on a clean slate from the beginning. That way you don't have to worry about trying to fix it up so much later on. I mean, who's to say the damage you create now will be fixable later? You know, some things are unrepairable, and then you're stuck just in a miserable situation that you can't get yourself out of because you thought it was cool or you thought it was okay to do what you're doing. So definitely, I want to continue to do more of these. This was exciting to do, and I hope to hear some feedback. So definitely, as you guys come up with the ideas or some thoughts as it relates to this topic, I would love to hear some comments and hear some perspectives. Thank you very much, and the reflection's back. Take care.